how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're talking with Dave Brink of Genuine Comics. How you doing?
Hi there.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Dave has a comic. I forget. Is it still live? Do you still have a live campaign right now?
It's in demand right now.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
your comic is
the official part is now over, and we're now in demand while we're finalizing the book.
okay. It's Perfect 10, right? Is your comic?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh,
Perfect 10 issue 4. So we're at issue 4 right now, and the last 2 pages are being colored, and then
so
it's done.
would I be well? Could I get issue 1 to 3 and 4 if I go into the demand store?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
You ordered it. You backed the campaign.
Well, I know. I
You,
was just asking for the viewers. I
okay,
already
okay.
know the answer.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
yes,
I
you
was
can.
throwing you a softball there.
All right, all right. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
no need to be nervous. I'm nobody. Oh, Marcus is perfect. I was just about to say send me the link, and then Marcus is my moderator. Wonderful. Yeah. So here
Hello,
you go.
Marcus.
Go to Indiegogo, pick up the Perfect 10. Uh, I got to say the covers are outstanding. I didn't get a chance to read them yet. I just ordered them.
Mhm.
Oh, and Marcus is on Andy Striff's. He's doing double duty. All right.
Yeah, everyone is alive right now.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's alive. Yeah, so they'll catch us on the replay.
Sure.
So first off, I was admiring that spinner rack you got in the background. That is just that's like a comic book artifact.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's not specifically made for comic books, but it's repurposed, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
and it's made for what, larger size? We were talking a little bit before we went live. You said that's made for a European size.
yeah. Well, it's not specifically a comic book spin rack either. I got it from my work for they have like flyers and folders to put in there, and they needed to get rid of it. So I said, I will take it off your hands, and I repurposed it for my comic books, and it gives this nice backdrop also.
Yeah,
Plus, when I get orders through the store, I can easily find what I'm looking for. I have it prepared here. So
that's got to be so cool to see your comic books on a spinner rack. Just right there, just to look at that.
yeah,
I
just
can't wait.
home.
For those of you who can't, I got a spinner rack right there, and I can't wait to take everything out of it and fill it up with my comic heroic tales at some point in the future.
That's
Like you
awesome.
said, just to here you go. Here's a comic book. Put it in the mail. Put it in the mail. That's going to be fun. So you were saying that as a kid you didn't have spinner racks, comic books full of spinner racks.
Maybe we had. I can't really remember. We basically when I was very young, you still had like comics in the supermarket.
Right.
So I bought Spider-Man there. In between the magazines in the.
Right. That's the way it was over here in the States. When I was I'm 55. I don't know how old you are. Everybody looks young to me. But when I was a kid, you went to the supermarkets, you went to the candy store, and you're from the Netherlands, you said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at it. He's so European. He's drinking a beer. I'm American. I'm drinking my coffee.
That's good.
Yeah. Uh, when I was a kid, comic books were everywhere. I don't know
Yes.
about Europe. The closest. Well, I've been to Europe if Iceland counts. So that's the closest I've been to the continent of Europe. And growing up, there was comic books everywhere. You went into comic book store. This was before comic book stores. Forgive me, I'm talking too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You went into candy stores. You went into stationery stores. You went into like what we called cigar stores, supermarkets. All of these
Gas
places.
stations.
Gas stations. Yes. Did you have stationery stores? I imagine you had candy stores. Europe isn't
with candy stores. I don't think they sold comics there. You had comic book shops, so specifically.
Even as a kid, you had comic book shops.
I
Again,
think so.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
I'm not sure, but when I was young, I basically bought them from the local supermarket, and then when I got older and I started to collect American language comics, because we had these translated books, right? And then I found like specific comic book shops, and you had a few in Amsterdam, and nowadays there are more. Um, but yeah, when I was young, I remember they were everywhere. You could get them at the gas
Yeah, they were
stations.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was great because it was impulse. I remember going to the supermarket with my parents, and my mom would buy all the groceries and hand me some change, and I'd buy an X-Men comic book or Fantastic Four comic book.
Mhm.
And I just lament the death of the newsstand because nobody wakes up in the morning and just says, I'm going to get into comic books, looks up where a comic book store is, drives to the comic book store, and then you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
comic book stores are for people who are already into comics, but
Yes, this is true.
We need a
Yes,
place.
this is why people got into comics easier. It was accessible. It was presented to you. So this is how I discovered these superhero books.
What were your favorites growing up? What did you like to read?
Um, I think my favorite was the Hulk. Because I don't know why, but I love this transformation aspect of the Hulk. So this skinny dude, and he transforms. That was so awesome to me, and he becomes very powerful, and he becomes a bit stupid, but very kind, and he just wants friends, and I could relate to that
Yeah,
aspect. I didn't have much friends when I was very young. Um, so I, so the Hulk was my favorite, but I loved basically everything that the Junior Press. We had this company here that translated American comics to
oh, okay.
Dutch. It was called Junior Press, and it translated the bigger titles. So I read Fantastic Four, Batman, Spider-Man. So the bigger titles, right? And later on, I began to read like original releases.
In
So
English.
imported books, right? And so I discovered the other titles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Junior Press. So that's local to the Netherlands.
yeah. I don't think they exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
We
Wow.
still have
See, I
some.
love finding out about comic books in other world.
Yeah,
Other
yeah. We
world.
still
You're in
have
another
some.
world.
We still have some translated books right now. They're very rare. You can only get them at specific like comic book shops. But the translation nowadays is just terrible. It's like they put it through Google Translate or something.
Probably.
It's so stupid. So yeah.
I worked with a guy. I forget where he was from. I think he was from Colombia, and he read American comics that were translated into Colombian Spanish, because I'm sure it's different than Spanish from Spain.
Yeah.
And he remembered Wolverine was El Vibro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We had that also. We had these Dutch names for these American characters. Like the Hulk was called the Rauwe Bonk.
And what does that mean?
It's very difficult to translate back. Something like the rough big guy.
Okay,
The rough
well,
big guy, roughly translated. The Rauwe Bonk. It was really stupid. But later on, they kind of canned that plan to literally translate these names. So nowadays we just have the original names.
Oh, I remember there was a problem with the Star Wars. It was brought to France, and Darth Vader was called something like Darth Feder with the Feder. And then when they re-released it to the theaters, there was people who were getting mad that they kept the name Vader because they were kids and it was Darth Feder.
Yes.
Yeah,
this
so
is true.
I can see that. Like, my friend still is like, I like El Vibro. That's what I grew up reading. And
Yes.
What's Wolverine? He's from Colombia. What does he know about Wolverines?
Yes, this is how you know these characters. Daredevil was called the Durval. What did we have? With Thor, he was called the Donar for a short moment.
Donar, yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
So his identity of Donald Blake was right on the nose then. If he was Donar and then he became Donald. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's yeah. I like. Did they had different? I know the British editions. There was different artists. Like they would collect like 3 or 4 comics, put them in one comic, and it had an all new cover by a
All
British
right.
artist. And I was always tempted to pick them up because I just love to do cover art. Oh,
Yeah.
rabbit hole! What a nice comment. 2 of my favorite people on the same stream. Thank you.
Hey, Cooper. Thank you, sir.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you. Cheers, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, yeah, later, I discovered you had this. You mentioned the British editions, right?
Yes.
Later, I learned that the Marvel had this division, this British division, Marvel UK,
Marvel
and they
UK.
had their own titles, their own. So I discovered that later, and those books were pretty difficult to find. But those characters look pretty interesting also.
Yeah,
But
like Captain Britain, and then they had like the Knight's Pendragon and Death's Head or something like that. There was a lot of
Death's Head, yeah, that was cool.
I remember when they brought Death's Head to the United States, and I just remember thinking like this. It was so alien. It was weird. Like each country has their own flavor. So like, I know it's going to sound weird, but my wife is Canadian, and every once in a while we'll go to Canada. And even though it's all people speaking English, the clothes, every once in a while, you just get to feel like this is a different country. And I know it's a different country, but like, it's not like going to China where everybody's of a different race and the languages is different, the food, but like it's almost like Canada is the mirror world of the United States. It's the same, but slightly different. So I imagine, well, I not imagine the British comics when I got collected editions of like the Alan Davis early Captain Britain that were published in England and then brought over to the States. It just seemed weird. Like, the British have like a whole different aesthetic for as far as science fiction. And my wife says that, and I agree with her, that the British just want a story. They don't care. But the Americans are obsessed with continuity and they want the T's crossed and the I's dotted, like when you watch Star Trek or Star Wars, you could tell that has American sensibility. When you watch Doctor Who, like they'll just be like, yeah, this is the way things are. And then the next episode, like, forget the way things are. This is now the way things are. And we're not even going to, it's just so bizarre.
Right. I never got into Doctor Who.
Well, you're not missing much anymore, but
Battletide.
I got into Doctor Who with the 4th Doctor. And then when they changed the 4th Doctor, I dropped Doctor Who for like 20 years because I didn't understand. I thought it was over, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I got back into it, and I'm just not interested anymore.
It's another franchise that was sacrificed to the.
Yep, I have zero tolerance.
The modern audience, right?
I have zero tolerance for that stuff.
Yes.
And,
same here.
And I still got boxes upon boxes and boxes of comic books. I got my old D&D books. I got DVDs and movies, and I got novels that I haven't read yet. So I got zero tolerance. When you mess with something I like, boom, next.
So basically, what you're saying, you're not buying any new comics anymore, any mainstream.
I quit reading Marvel and DC in 2015, and that was before all the woke stuff. I got fed up with just the disregard of, first off, the drop in quality, and then the drop in the continuity. Once they started dropping all the numbers and they're rebooting the numbers, and then they started like contradicting the past writers, it just felt disrespectful. And I was getting madder and madder. And I'm like, why am I spending all this money? And I'm glad I did, because if I had lasted another 2 years when it got all, the message, as to Critical Drinker says, I would have been furious. So I think I got off while the getting was good. Star Wars, I stopped at the second movie of the sequels. I never saw that last one, The Rise of Skywalker. I'm done. I haven't watched I watched 2 of the new Star Trek movies. I'm done. I'm an old guy. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Well, I'm the same way.
I just spent $53 on new comics last night. So I do buy new comics. I'm just getting more and more selective.
So is that corporate comics or is it indie?
Yeah, I go to a discount comic book service, and every month I put it in order. So I still look for like Usagi Yojimbo,
Oh,
anything Full Boy related.
sure.
There's still some file like Garth Ennis. He solicited why can't I think of it? But he has a new comic coming out. I got the Fire and Ice. It's the Frazetta book written by Bill Willingham. So I still actively look for new comics. I don't dislike comics. I love comics.
Yeah.
And then I buy a lot of indie stuff, a lot of Comicsgate stuff, a lot of crowdfunded stuff. Probably too much, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I know the problem.
Yeah,
I know the problem.
yeah. Like this is tonight. I'm gonna finally read this tonight.
Wrath of God. Oh, cool.
Go Presti. That was and then I just got this by Dave Lucarelli. He did a comic called Tinseltown by Alterna Comics. So he did a crowdfunder. I bought the collected Tinseltown, and this was an optional buy. I said I gotta get it because
Wow,
first.
that looks great.
And then Alpha Core I didn't even read yet.
Alpha Core, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't really get into that. Basically, I thought it was too expensive for me. $35 for one book plus 35 shipping. It was crazy for me, right? So
for
I was like,
I will wait. July on my channel, and I said that to him. I said, "Is this sustainable? It's kind of expensive." He made a face like he didn't like that I even asked that question, but I don't know. I got it because of Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett, but sorry, Eric, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be getting ice on. It doesn't grab me.
And
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I respect what you do. It's just
sure. To be fair, I was interested in the Rippaverse as the company, as something new. So I checked out like videos, like reviews, like talks about the comic, and the reviews are not that stellar. Some people love it. There are some criticisms, and for as far as I can see it, I think there are many indie comics out there that are much better with quality. They are cheaper. They have cheaper shipping rates.
Yeah.
But they don't get as much attention. So basically, marketing. That's
an art audience,
Yeah, marketing is everything, man.
I want the Rippaverse to succeed because I want there to be a challenger to Marvel and DC. He's got a long ways to go, but man, he hit the ground running, and I want the comics to be good.
Yeah,
Alpha Core, I can't say anything yet. I didn't read it yet, but it is Chuck Dixon, so it's got to be good. And,
yes.
The second issue of Isom was a lot better than the first issue, but I read the first issue, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody who's been on my channel, but I also don't want to lie. It's
no, sure.
I didn't particularly enjoy it. It was okay, and for $35, it's got to be more than okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is it, man. This is it. It's very difficult to have this audience and maintain it. So you have to bring your A game. There's a lot of competition also.
Yes, and I think he's doing the right thing. He hired why can't I think of his name to be an editor for the art. So I think that he's stepping in the right direction. I think I'm not an artist, so a lot of the art criticisms that people are saying went over my head until I went back, and I'm like, okay, because I fancy myself a writer. I'm trying to write a comic book, so I pay more attention to the story. And I gotta say, I first off, I don't know what Isom means. So if I don't know what the superhero title means, then I can't get. It might as well be a Dutch word, and I don't speak Dutch, so I don't know how I get. And anyway, I don't want to keep talking about this because I don't want to sound negative, and I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the Rippaverse. The guy gets enough crazy people. I like Eric July. I want his company to succeed. I want to like Isom, but he's got to beat me a little bit more. For what I'm not a millionaire, so for me, $35 is a lot of money. The hate watchers only think that the Rippaverse exists. That's why they're festooned. I don't quite understand what you're saying there, but Eric
festoon. That's the first time I heard that word festooned.
Festooned is decorated.
Right. Oh yeah, like
here,
festivity,
perfect
like
example.
festive. Yeah.
You see these decorations? My wife
Yes.
festooned my
You
basement.
festooned it. All right. It's the first time.
Yeah, it's a
Great. Learn a new word. Awesome.
yeah, but he
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
craziest haters, and I wish, and I like what he's doing. He's monetizing his haters. I don't have Dave. Do you have haters yet?
Not yet. No. I had
Haters yet? Yeah, I don't.
one.
I think that's a sign that you made it when you get haters. So
Really? Yeah. I still have a long way to go. I had one customer that I had to block, and I don't like doing that. I I appreciate my customers, but this guy was just going too far, like basically stalking me online, and so I had to just block him, man. It was so I had to refund him. I just refund him
yeah, yeah. I haven't
everything.
dealt with that yet. Luckily, praise be to Wotan and Odin and everybody else that you worship. Everybody's been. I've had the most positive, wonderful experience with the internet. I'm meeting guys like the Rabbit Hole Telepathic Bunny, and just everybody's been great. But then again, I haven't released my comic yet. Maybe that'll bring out the crazies after I come out with a comic. So
Hey, I see what you did there, Cooper. Rich get richer. Meanwhile, Shadowpunk and Dave Brink and Luke Stone make the best stuff out there in obscurity. Yeah, I
yeah,
got that reference.
Luke Stone, for those of you who don't know, is the owner of Fund My Comic. That's a
Mhm.
web. It's a brand new. It'll soon be a great competitor to Indiegogo and Kickstarter, or as Luke says, the pink site and the green site. I should use his terms when I'm talking about his.
Yeah.
And I will be launching exclusively on Fund My Comic when I'm ready to go. I'm not quite there yet. I had my freak out this weekend because things. Making a comic book is fun, writing it and watching the art come down, but then all of the little technical details, I had a little meltdown this weekend. So some people got to see the crazy neurotic side of John's Logbox, and
So
I want a little apology tour, which I should have because I was wrong.
what kind of book are you making?
I'm making a comic. It's going to be called Heroic Tales, and it's a love letter to old superhero comics, blue sky superhero comics. The good guys. Well, I want it to look like an old Bronze Age Marvel comic as much as possible.
Right.
It's not going to be you flip through it and you're done. It's going to have some words in it. It's going to have a lot of panels per page, a story, self-contained story, a good superhero who well, the first issue is the patriarch. He's a good guy. Here's
Patriarch.
oh,
Right.
there
he is. I saw something.
Yeah, I did it wrong. That's the overlay. Oh, there we go.
There he
This is my buddy. My buddy Anton did a fan art. This is Renzo's a character sketch.
Oh, it's more purple, the purple color.
Yeah, because it's the patriarch is a Roman word, so I did the purple like the Roman Empire. He wears a laurel leaf. But
so you think about the Roman Empire, right?
Yeah. And if I make it long, I'll explain more of why he picked a Roman motif.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good guy. The bad guys are bad, and then later on, I want to explore like the anti-hero and show why, while it's cool, it won't work in the real world like superheroes would really exist. But you know what I'm saying. So anyway, so let's this is your hour. Let's talk about your character. You are doing Perfect 10.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's true.
And people have read up to 1 to 3 so far, right? I
yes.
unfortunately didn't get a chance to read them yet. There's so many good stuff that I don't get to catch up with.
Yeah, so 3 issues are just out there. So people read those.
I ordered 1 to 4, so I'll
yeah.
The covers are outstanding.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. You will get the books in, I think, March. So everything will be printed, shipped out, and in March everyone should have the books. But yeah, it's also like superhero. It's so the main character is kind of, she wakes up in this superhero universe. So for first time readers, so So we have multiple titles, right? And they all take place in what we call the genuine verse, the genuine universe. It's kind of like
And
Marvel,
you're the
DC.
writer.
I'm the writer creator of most of it, but we also have writers like Lee Byron Carver and Michael Oden did some
Okay.
stuff.
You don't draw. You don't draw at all.
I don't draw anymore. I basically do sketches, designs.
I
Yeah,
can't draw. I wish I could. I look at some of the art people do, and I actually get like teary eyed because it's like a gift to be able to draw that well.
yeah. It's you have to put in a lot of hours.
Yeah,
Get good. I
get
saw
good.
this video today of this artist called Dan Panosian.
Oh,
He
he's
drew,
wonderful.
yeah, and he drew like Conan and Red Sonja. But his work from the 90s when he started with Extreme is pretty bad. When you see that and you compare it, it's like this guy he evolved, man. It's
Dan
crazy.
Panosian, I've been following his career since his humble beginnings. I talk a lot about this role playing game called Villains and Vigilantes, and Villains and Vigilantes is a superhero alternative to Dungeons and Dragons. And I fell in love with it as a kid because I was a superhero obsessed comic book, and this game is like playing a comic book, and I still play it. Me and my buddies just played it last weekend. We made up new characters, went on adventure. And if you look at my playlist role playing, you'll see Villains and Vigilantes. You can watch it. We recorded our session. But anyway, Dan Panosian drew art for this game back in like 1982, and it was
okay.
I'm not even joking. That's how good I could draw back then. Dan Panosian in 1982. 40 years later, I could still draw as good as Dan Panosian back in 1982. But Dan Panosian now, phenomenal. Like your boy Zach at Diversity, he's one of the only artists that continually gets better. So I kind I feel like that's my boy. You know what I mean? I've seen him since the beginning, and I'm so glad that he's finally getting the accolades that he deserves.
Yeah,
I would love to get him on my channel, but I think he's a little wary of where he talks. So maybe he's too big. Who knows? But I love Dan Panosian. Yeah. Patrick Zurcher also did artwork for Villains Vigilante modules, but he has me blocked. I don't know. I guess he doesn't like me or whatever. That one bothered me because he was another guy that, I was 18 years old, loving his artwork in my modules, but whatever.
Yeah, I really miss the days that you knew nothing about these creators but their names. So I bought this book. I saw the name John Byrne. Yes, that's a comic for me. You recognize the art style. You know the writer. That's it. You don't need to know anything else. And nowadays, you know everything about everyone, and it takes away the magic.
Yeah, I try to separate the art from the artist. I'm pretty good, and I've had conversations with people that I know we disagree, but we were civil. We kept it on top because I'm an adult. I got people in my family, my immediate family, that politically disagree with me, and whatever. It's the way the world works. But
yeah. Well,
and I'm sure you as a Dutchman probably disagree with a lot of my politics. But here we are talking comic books.
Well, there's no one on the planet you 100%.
Right. My
agree
wife,
with. Not even yourself. Your own opinions change from day to day. So yeah. So.
Right. Yeah. I voted one party for a couple of years, and then I switched to another party a couple of years later because you get older, your perspectives change. So I wanted to talk to you about. We started talking about Perfect 10, and then like a fool, I distracted you because I can't focus because I'm also like a little kid. So you said it was about a woman who wakes up in another universe.
Well, no, it's her universe, so we only have one universe. But so basically, for readers who aren't familiar with other titles that we made, because we've been making English titles books since 2014. But this series, Perfect 10, is a good starting point because the main character also wakes up in this universe, and she knows nothing.
Oh, that's a good
about it. So you can learn with her, and basically she is. So she discovers that she is so this universe has a lot of superheroes, but it also has a lot of supervillains. So people have these powers, and most people with superpowers use them for villainy, basically. And
Probably
so
what would happen. Think about
yeah,
all of a sudden. Let's just imagine that the powers that be just go like that, and 10,000 people on Earth got superpowers.
yeah,
How many of them would be heroes?
not many,
Yeah, yeah. So
not
yeah,
many. You
so
can
you
be
got
lucky if there's even one guy who says, "I'm going to be the hero here," you know.
yeah.
So yeah, so they needed to put something to tackle the problem. The heroes weren't like there was
Yeah, they're outnumbered.
this imbalance, you know. So they created this project called the Perfection Program, and they created synthoids, like synthetic humans. And then the main character of this book is one of them, and she's created to like kill like superpowered criminals, right?
Oh, okay.
So she can heal fast. She's fast. She's 10 times faster than humans, 10 times stronger, stuff like that. But she doesn't want to do that anymore. And this is basically how the story starts. And the entire series takes place in one day. So we're still issue 4 is still the same day as issue
Wow,
1. Yeah, so
that's
this
cool.
is her first day, and it's a doozy. It's yeah,
She's hitting the ground running.
yes,
It's fun. In my role playing game, I made up a superheroine, and her name is 10 because
okay, cool.
she was abducted by aliens, and they rebuilt her perfect. So and
Perfect. Yeah.
and yeah, and she was just like, I'm perfect, and then a guy like whistled at her and be like, yeah, you're a 10, and that became her super. So when
Right.
and I was thinking like, yeah, if my comic book lasts like 15 20 issues, I might have 10 show up, and I'm like, well, this Dave Brink already beat me to it, so
I'm sorry, man. I'm so
it's
sorry.
okay. I always joke around that I'm bugged because so many of my ideas, but we all read the same comics, we all no idea exists in a vacuum. 10 is having a bad day. Yes.
Yeah, he's having a bad day. Yeah, yeah. This is also the thing when I think of something to have this title, and I have like this title, Perfect 10. I wanted to call this comic Perfect 10, so you have to Google, you have to check out.
Right.
Are there any like comic book characters with the same name? It wasn't used, and I was like, "That's
Really?
crazy. That isn't used. That's crazy." So now it's mine.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started doing heroic tales, and I looked up all these comics, but then I missed it. But there was a comic called Heroic Tales by Bill Williams, not Bill Willingham. And I
Okay.
reached out to him, and he's like, yeah, take the title. I took it from a 40s comic. So yeah, there you go. So
All right.
and I have another idea I don't want to say for if I'm successful for a horror comic. And so far nobody's taken it, and I'm like, how did nobody take this title yet? So I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Perfect 10. I can't believe there's not a movie. There's not a book.
Oh, probably, but not within the comic scene, right?
Right.
So there was this magazine called Perfect 10 which was a adult magazine, you know.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, yeah, it sounds like a girly
yeah.
book.
Yeah.
The cover for issue 4 is what
Mhm.
struck me, and I said, oh boy, I want to check out this comic. It looks like a J. Scott Campbell cover. It's
Oh,
really good. So I was like, so then it did exactly what a cover is supposed to be. You don't have an issue of it or an image that you can put up for people to see, do you?
sure. I can
Yeah.
find one.
So people, because it's a phenomenal cover, and that cover struck my eye. It caused me to research who you were, invite you on the channel. You know what I mean? That cover
Sure.
did exactly what a cover is supposed to do.
We
Good job.
we could simply share the campaign if you like.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, my artist, the artist that I work with, so Pau, is part of the artistic team from the first issue. He's phenomenal. He worked on titles
Yeah.
like Wolverine and the Justice League,
Oh wow.
and now he's working with me. That's absolutely nuts.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
I know. Sometimes I hired Renzo Rodriguez to do my artwork, and when he sends me pages, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's drawing my ideas. Like, how did this happen? How did this happen? Like, things are going too well. I'm going to get hit by a bus tomorrow because karma has to be balanced. So let's take a look. Yeah, that's the cover I'm talking about. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Here you see it better. So this cover A, right?
Nice.
Basically, so you're new to this series, right?
Yes,
so,
I didn't read it yet. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. But you may not notice then that 10, so the main character, is not featured on these covers.
Okay.
She's not here, and she's not here, and it has.
Oh, I
a
just
reason.
assumed that was 10.
No, no. So
but she's got skulls, so she's probably a bad guy.
Yeah. So I want to make covers that kind of reflect what's happening within the book.
Oh, good for you, because that I how many times you see a cover and then that's not even in the cover for my comic is a scene from inside the story. So good for you.
Yeah. With issue 3, with the previous issue, we basically had the book done, and then I had this epiphany that I wanted to change something within the story, so we had to redo part of the book. And this also meant that the cover needed to change because the scene that was depicted on the cover didn't happen.
Who drew that?
Paul Rodriguez.
I can't read the signature on it. My eyes are bad.
Oh, you can see it here.
Yeah.
Paul Rodriguez, he's the artist. So he also drew this.
That is really good. Oh, and Rabbit Hole says you need to read Perfect 10, John. It's one of the best. Okay, yeah, I'll trust you. You know what you're talking about. I mean, the covers are striking. I love them.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So yeah, and each issue I like to introduce new characters. So you see 2 new characters that weren't part.
What are the names of the characters? I get a kick out of it.
So these 2 characters in the back, they are called Gorgeous and the Grotesque.
Oh, okay. I like that. So they're a team, huh?
They're a team, yeah. They're a duo.
A duo, yes.
So yeah, and then so we have like guest artists like Mike Bowden.
Oh,
he did the back cover. That's fantastic. Mike Bowden also drew like Warcraft.
So I assume that's 10. She's got the 10 on her shoulder.
Yeah. So this is the main character. This is 10.
That's great. How dare you draw sexy women? What's wrong with you?
Well,
didn't you get the memo? Women are supposed to be frumpy pieces of lumps right now.
Yeah, that's not much fun. You want to give people something
yes.
they want to buy. They want to, I want to make the books that I myself want to buy. So,
yes.
So when I don't buy Marvel and DC, I do not want to emulate that. And I really like the 90s aesthetic. So that's so you kind of see that here within this.
Yeah, it looks like a 90s aesthetic, but at the same time, this looks like an older Marvel, like because I thought the 90s they didn't really fill in the backgrounds,
Yeah, that's true.
This main panel, I'm pointing like you can see my finger, but this main panel right here in the middle with the guy with the t-shirt, I just love all that detail. And then the panel on the top, this with this woman whose name I don't know. What is her name?
Traverse.
Oh, so she could teleport?
Yeah.
Perfect. I love that. I guessed her power because of a good name. That is
great. Yeah.
So Traverse, I love that she's looking across the city and look at that detail.
Yeah.
And then scroll up a little bit. I like what you do here. No. Put the pictures up so I can see the bottom 2 panels.
Oh, so right.
Yeah, and I love that the bricks. It's such a classic Marvel. You don't need to do all the detail and everything like that because the mind is filling in perfect. That is perfect comic book storytelling. I didn't read because my eyes are bad. I can't read, but I'm going to say that on that page, she just popped up out of nowhere. She's looking around. People had enough of this superhero nonsense, and they're chasing her out of town. Am I close?
Yeah. And check out these colors also. This is colored by Daniel Rodriguez. He's the main colorist. This is phenomenal work, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So
what is her name?
This character is called Calamity.
Okay.
She's
Now, don't
basically
tell me
the
she causes trouble and destruction everywhere she goes.
yes, she's
Yeah,
basically
perfect.
the main baddie. She was built up in the last few issues, and now she kind of we kind of see her in action. So this is a double page splash. So I need to zoom in a little bit so you can see it.
That is awesome.
That's fantastic, right?
You got yourself a good art team there. Good art.
Yes, I know, man. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. And so this is why sometimes you have these books that are phenomenal. And they look phenomenal. They have fantastic artists, but then the story just sucks, man. And I'm like
That's
that's a waste of fantastic art.
that's Image Comics. That's you just described Image Comics. Like the art,
Yeah,
it, Image was the perfect name for Image. It was just flashy, and you had
yeah,
all of these poses and stuff like that. But some of the comics were just, indecipherable. I had no clue what's going on, and it was like the Emperor's New Clothes. I didn't want to say anything because I felt like, oh, they're gonna make fun of me that I don't understand what's going on, And looks like the rabbit hole agrees.
right.
It and then all of a sudden I noticed that those comics kind of stop and Image corrected chip, and I feel the same way is going on with a lot of independent comics. We got phenomenal artists, and
Hmm.
and the stories are lacking. But I will say, when I got this, oh, I'm showing it
Yeah,
like people. When I got
we
Wraith of God by Aaron Lopresti, I was like, right, we got writers, and I'm really enjoying it. That is awesome.
look at this. This is
I
great.
am. Yeah, who's that?
She's called Diabolique.
Perfect name. Perfect
She's
name.
one of the baddies, and then we have a guy here on the lower right. He's called Krakatoa. He's like a living volcano. And you
Nice.
have this girl here is called the Dilemma. So
Oh,
we have a lot of
what
characters.
what does Dilemma do? What is her ability?
She can basically predict moves. So in when she fights someone, she can predict someone's moves.
Oh,
So
cool.
she's very
Okay.
difficult to beat in 1-to-1 battles.
Okay. You got a gift with superhero names.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's very difficult also to find names that aren't used yet.
I know.
Um,
Tell me about it.
it really sucks when you have this fantastic name, like the perfect name, and then you Google it and it's used. I mean, that
Yeah,
sucks.
I had to change the name of a bunch of things because stuff that I didn't find out about, and I don't have any money to sue anybody or
Yeah, no,
fight
sure.
off lawsuits. So, like a whole storyline, I just dropped because I couldn't come up with a new way to redo the character. Man, this is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So remember when I said when I loved the Hulk.
Yeah,
So this is basically our Hulk. Like a
is he a good guy or a bad guy?
he's a good guy.
Okay.
He's a good guy. So these two are heroes. I like to give these characters their own title. So right now this is the first appearance in this title in Perfect 10. But I
Hey
wanted to give
Hojo, how
them
you
their own
doing?
book so people can get their own characters,
Oh
also their
man,
own character
I'm more
creation.
excited. I bought I ordered 4 of your comics based on that cover alone for issue number 4. Now that I'm actually seeing the interior work, I'm excited. Can't wait.
Oh, excellent,
This,
man. Yeah, this is what we want.
this
We
is
want.
gonna sound this sounds like a backhanded compliment, but I don't mean it. I mean it with all positive. This sounds like a professional, slick, like Image comic at the height of its powers. This if Image or Marvel or DC was making comics that look this good, and again, I can't read a word because my eyes are that bad. This looks phenomenal. This should be selling, man. You know,
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah.
and I didn't read it yet, so I'm assuming you put this much care into the look and the code names.
So we kind of changed something, right? So originally you were going to get so every
Awesome.
backer would get this print. They would get this print. This was a stretch goal, and what I decided now that I wanted to offer people something else, uh, but prints because well I don't really know if people want prints, right?
Yeah.
So instead of giving people prints, everyone gets a free art book.
Oh wow.
So these prints will be added together with other pieces, and you will get a complete book.
Nice.
plus cards. Yeah, so that's basically it.
This is awesome. Like I said, I saw that cover for issue 4, and that did exactly what a cover is supposed to do. It got me interested and made me order some comics. And now looking at this is awesome. This is kind of what I wanted with my comic. This just looks like good old school superheroes, and you're hitting all my buttons. The coloring looks great. The character designs are pretty good for the most part. They're simple and elegant, and and my thing is the names have to fit the superpowers, and I love, these are great names. These are great names. So good that I'm mad that I didn't think of them myself.
yeah. I recognize that.
First, that is a great name, and I'm amazed nobody had that name already. That is excellent.
Yes. Do you recognize this character on this guy's shirt?
That's a Devil Dinosaur, right?
That's a Dreaded Dinosaur from Eric Hodgson.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Devil Dinosaur from
No, it's a the Dreaded Dinosaur Man from Eric Hodgson, and Eric Hodgson drew our book American Bliss.
Okay.
And so basically we decided that the Dreaded Dinosaur Man is a fictional character within the genuine universe. So the characters within this universe watch like cartoons of the Dreaded Dinosaur Man.
Oh, I gotta I gotta say, it's funny because I just sent Renzo comics as reference, because I decided that comics that I like by creators that I like, these are cartoons and action figures in my comic book world. So there's going to be a couple of Easter eggs where kids have toys of other people's comics, and I reached out and asked them if it was okay. They think it's funny. So there you go. So it's funny. Yeah. We doing the same, but isn't it fun to play with everybody's toys?
Yeah, it's just fun, but you want the reader to have fun. So you need to have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Gordon.
He's saying, don't give you too many compliments. It might go to your head. Dave, I'll yell at you now. Back that. You're doing a great job, man. This is fun. Now,
thank you.
Let me ask you: is this your full-time job? Do you have a day job?
I have a day job. I have another job. So unfortunately, I can't sustain on this.
Alone.
My
point being is you're making comic books that look that good. And I don't know, you drive a bus, you're a cop, you're a bank teller. I don't know what you do in your day job, but in your spare hours, you're making a comic book that looks that good. Why can't people that do it full time make comics that look that good?
Yeah.
What is their excuse?
Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, these people that work for these corporations, they don't really care. They don't need to care. They get paid anyway. And they can flex that they work at these companies. And meanwhile, the little guys like we do, the independents, we do it because we love it, because we don't do it for the money. There's barely money to be made,
Yeah,
So you need to do because you absolutely want to.
Yeah. So far, I'm taking a beating. I mean, I haven't released anything, but
Yeah.
It ain't the money. It's because we love comics. We love and you own all these characters, right? These are your creations.
Yes. Yeah. There are some characters within this universe that aren't mine. They are part of the genuine universe, are created by other people, and now I work with other writers also for other. We have like this title called Power Trip, which is a anthology book with shorter stories, so we can introduce like concepts, characters that we don't have longer stories for or longer plans for, and sometimes other writers write these stories and they bring in their own characters and they become part of this universe.
That's cool.
And that's fun. That's really cool.
Yeah, I nobody's asked or anything yet, but I don't know. Do I want my stuff to be just mine? Do I want to work with other people? I'll cross that bridge when when
Yeah,
somebody expresses interest. So far, nobody's expressed interest. Oh man, I'm excited now. You did what you're supposed to do. You got me
good.
excited about your comics. They
That's
look
excellent.
so good. You know,
That's excellent. We need the passion back, man. When nowadays there's so much negativity surrounding comic books, and we talk too much about all that stuff. And I think
right.
we need to ignore all that noise and focus on the good things.
I
There's
said
so
that a lot.
many indie creators that actually care. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You got yeah. These are your toys. These are your babies. You know, you're not breaking Wolverine and then putting it back on the shelf and walking away. You know.
No, but if they asked me to write Wolverine and I would write Wolverine, I wouldn't write myself as Wolverine, for instance. It just
You know,
yeah,
my dream was to grow up and write the Fantastic Four. That's my favorite.
yeah.
And I have so many ideas for the Fantastic Four. Now I don't know if I want to. You
Mhm.
know, I hate to say it, but they killed that little child's enthusiasm and love
Yeah.
for these characters. I still have stacks. You know, I got from Fantastic Four 1 to, geez, whatever. You know, up to like 2015. But I just don't like the way. You know, and I don't want to talk about my comic again, but you know, they just, you know, I just
Oh,
want my comic to get out there and people to like it. You know, Brinkerine. Yeah, there you go. You can make Brinkerine. There you go, Dave.
no, no, no.
Well, you drink a
That
beer.
sounds
You're
terrible.
kind of hairy. How tall are you?
I'm too tall.
Oh, you're too tall to be Wolverine. Write the characters, not yourself. Good point. Yes, yes, I agree. I assume you're not a synthetic woman that was built to fight superheroes.
No, that's also people like you can't write characters that aren't have your experience. That's complete bullshit. That means that you can't write.
Right, right.
If
I
you
I took a
would,
writing class in college, and my professor was Mr. Garcia, and he was from I forget which country in South America, and he married an Irish woman from Ireland, and they met in the United States.
Mhm,
And excuse me, he's writing. His wife is writing a novel about Aztecs, you know,
mhm.
and she's an Irish woman, and he was writing a novel about American cowboys, you know, and he just was talking about this, and you could just see some of the, and this was the 90s, you know, some of the kids were squirming, and this one girl, she just was like, how could you write about these different cultures? And he just like snapped. He was waiting for it. And he goes, because I'm doing research, because I'm a writer. He goes, I'm
Yeah,
not a space captain. I'm not a superhero. I'm not a World War II veteran. I'm not from Vietnam. He's like, I'm not from ancient China, but I could write about these things because I have an intellect and I could do research.
yes,
You know, and I just love that. You know, yes,
yes. So
I would love.
the people
I
that
gotta look
that
up his
can't,
life novel.
so people that can't put themselves in other characters, I don't mean themselves. I mean
Right,
they can relate to other characters. They should stay far away from writing anything.
right, right.
You know.
Well, write, you know, write yourself insert characters, just like that guy Glenn. Thank you. My wife just handed me my bowl of dinner. But write yourself insert characters, but make your own characters. You know, I don't know if you know Joe Matt. Joe Matt did a character called comic called Peep Show, and it was him, and it was his unflattering look at himself to the point where you're like, Matt, change it because you're a horrible person, and I loved it. You know, but it was his character. He didn't write Batman as Joe Matt. He wrote Joe Matt as Joe Matt. You know, I think there's
Joe
room enough in
Madureira?
comic books to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Peep
but don't.
Show?
Yeah, it was called Peep Show. It's I
I
loved
never
it.
heard
Only
of that.
14 issues. He died. You know, but it was an unflattering look at his life of this, you know, kind of detestable person. But you know, I loved it. Not detestable. He was a lovable shut in. You know,
Gordon
hey,
Pow is
Double Fire.
definitely not human. Pow is what Pow
Right.
can do is not human.
Oh, what's that?
The Pow is not human. I was just responding.
Oh, okay.
The things that's the artist things that he can do.
Right. Pro tip: if you're going to do a self insert, be somebody worth writing about. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. Gordon Goodbrothers got my back. He says Peep Show is creepily unflattering, and it was fascinating. It was, to me, it was a perfect example of a self-insert comic book character. It was his own. It was his own character. He did it. He did it well.
I have to check it out.
Thank you, Marcus. This is my Substack. I'm trying to get people to sign up. And speaking of unflattering, we got Pops over here from the Madness.
Pops, hello, Pops.
Pops. Everybody loves Pops. And Devil Flyer saying hello to Hojo. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
A lot of cool people.
Right. So again, let me ask you. We were talking, and you said that you identified with the Hulk. You like the Hulk.
Yeah.
As a kid. Now, are you a gigantic rage machine?
No, it was more the loneliness aspect. I think this also got me reading comics, by the way, because I was this massive nerd without friends. So what you're going to do? You're going to read comic books,
right? Comic books was such it's one of the reasons why I love this channel that I'm doing now, because comic books is a solo activity. It's not like I don't know. Do you invite friends over? Let's all just be quiet and sit around and read comic books.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Christopher Lee is the only Yeah. But Christopher Lee died, so we can't do. Like growing up, I loved The Thing. The Thing was the character that I related to the most, and he was this like big, lovable monster that like was dealt a bad hand, and did the best with it. I didn't need to have the same skin color as a Rocky monster, but then people could be like, but he was white to begin with, whatever. I just find that
weird. These are strange conversations to have. It's just weird.
Right. If you can't relate to a character because of skin color or whatever, then that just shows me that you are a shallow person.
When I was young, you had this movie called Watership Down. You had like rabbits. You had rabbits. Yeah. It was nothing but rabbits.
Don't make me cry talking about Watership Down.
Yes.
Oh my God. I gotta recover. That was like a scar on. Hey, let's watch this cartoon about rabbits. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was horrible. But yeah, that traumatized me.
Yeah. Good writing. Charlotte's Web. We all felt for Wilbur the pig. You know what I mean? He wasn't even human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because it was good writing. So, is Perfect 10? Is it an ongoing series? You're gonna end it soon?
I think I need 2 more issues after this one to finish off the story. So the story keeps growing so the plan right now is 6 issues, then it's done. But you never know. Maybe the story grows. We continue. People seem to like it. People seem to. So as long as people like it, I would love to continue. But I also want to make other titles. So I have so many titles and have limited resources. So I have to.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. That's why I made my. I rather than make my comic called The Patriarch, I made it Heroic Tales so I could swap out the characters that are in my mind. And my ideal dream is that it's big enough hit that I can do the Patriarch, that I can do my other character, that I can do my, and kind of have like, how Marvel used to do Marvel premiere, introduce the hero, and then that's my ideal. But baby steps.
Sure. Well, you have a fantastic artist, man. So
yeah, Renzo, he's a great artist and a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love talking to him. He's like an angel.
Yeah,
I joke that he really
need to have this chemistry also with your creative team. So for some like artists, it's just this gig, but other artists, they have this. They actually want to be part of the project, of the process. They want to promote. They want to. They are the project. They become the project. So those relationships, those working relationships, are the best.
Yeah, I'm still dipping my toes in this water. He's the first artist that I reached out to. He said yes, and then I'm as happy as could be. Yeah. I've heard horror stories of other people saying like artist is too slow or artist doesn't respond or whatever. But Renzo he's so good. You know,
He's
oh,
professional.
change this. Like I'll message him, change this. I had this idea. Okay, oh, that sounds, you know, he's always like, oh, that is great. That's exciting. I can't wait to draw that. You know, never just like you're a pain in the ass, buddy. You know, I just, you know, he's always so bad to the point where, you know, even the few times I was like, oh no, change this. He's like, okay, that's great. You know, oh man.
Mhm.
So I don't know who are you asking me? I hired Renzo Rodriguez, and Dave, who did you hire?
Paul Rodriguez for this book.
Yeah, so there you go,
But,
Agent
yeah.
Cub, and it's good to see. I love to see new names. Yeah, so how is your running the campaign and fulfilling it? Are you doing it all yourself?
The books will be printed here. Then I will ship all the books for the United States backers to Critical Blast, and he will distribute things there. And Europe and everything else I will do. So
Oh,
this is how I can keep the shipping rates relatively low
that's
to
an
the
idea.
United States.
Or
And Critical Blast is really
if
fast.
you
So
reciprocate that, we could send all our comics to you, and then you distribute. You know, in Europe.
For Europe, yeah, probably.
You know that's something that Comicsgate should do, and these independent, you know,
Sure.
you know, you're the Europe guy. Boom, you know,
Yeah.
fill
Critical
your
Blast.
houses with boxes of comics.
I believe Critical Blast now has this unit also in United Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
So they're branching out slowly.
Okay.
They're very, very professional.
Oh, Critical Blast is a service. It's not a guy who has a YouTube channel.
No, it's a service. It's they do everything. So I send them the books, and they make sure it gets packaged, shipped out. Everyone gets the tracking codes, you know, and so everyone gets their books within 1 week or 2 weeks. So once they have the books.
That's something I gotta check out, especially for overseas orders. That that's something to think about. Again, I'm gathering all the information. I you know, I'm wading into the water and I'm finding out if I can swim. So I hate to say goodbye because I was enjoying this conversation, but I gotta wolf down this bowl of pasta that my wife just made for me and be ready for a half hour from now. Michael Bancroft,
it's cold now.
myself, and RJ are going to be talking over at the Fourth Age. So, anything you want to say? Anything you want to talk about? I'm excited about your comic. You know.
No, I just want to thank everyone for helping me make this happen. So without the backers, without you guys, I can't do this, and I'm really grateful. This is why you all get this free art book, and we are still in demand until all the books go out. Because once the books go out, then and still backers come in. This means I have to I ship in bulk, right? So once the bulk is out, I have to close the campaign. So you can still back for like a month, maybe 2 months, and then it's done. So please do check it out. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, put it up there. Yeah,
and thank you, John, for having me today.
Oh, come back again. Let's talk when Perfect 10 number 5 is in the works.
Sure.
By then I'll have read 1 to 4.
Yes.
Right. But thank you, everybody. I got to get going. I had a hard hour limit today, so thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:00 in the morning. Believe it or not, I will talk with Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower.
Tom Vassell, that's crazy.
Oh, you know him?
Well, I watch the Dice Tower.
Oh, you do? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've been to the Dice Tower convention, so I'm excited. So I got to go to bed early so I can wake up at 6 in the morning and be wide awake.
Excellent.
But thanks a lot. Oh, thank you, Yang, for showing up. I was on Yang's channel, and thank you, Zach Tan. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Dave. I come back whenever you want, whenever you want to talk more. It was a pleasure. I'm so excited for the comics. They look phenomenal. I'm going to make a fool of myself ranting and raving. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.